How's it going, everyone? My name is Michael Thomas and welcome to this video. This video is basically me walking through the Chrome extension that I launched. It is called Shopify Collab Request, and the purpose of the extension and how it started off initially was and the goal was to make a process that Shopify has a lot quicker and simpler and a lot more fast and a lot less hassle. But it started off as one idea, which was something that I really enjoyed, but it quickly developed into, oh, there's a lot more you can kind of do with this, and I think it's really, really cool. So yeah, essentially I designed it to take the hassle out of a process. And I'm going to show you how quickly it is now with this extension. So whenever you need to request a collab from, say, a merchant or a client, you would have to, get the collab code. You'd have to send a request, and you have to select what you need, and then they'd have to, accept it. And then, after 90 days, let's say that collab request expires because maybe you haven't logged in, and that can be annoying. You might need to, get request again from that client. There's something built into this extension that kind of helps with that. Then maybe you might need to ask them again for their collab code because maybe that email you had with them is lost, and that just slows down the process of requesting a collab by a lot when it should be a nice, quick, and simple process. So I'm going to just demonstrate right now what the process looks like. So here we can add code or paste code. I'm just going to add a code here. I can do that and click that, or I can just paste code if I have the code currently pasted. The .myshopify URL is automatically detected, and that will be copied over when I'm requesting the collab. Here we can select what template we want to use. I'm going to use my theme bug copy codes template, and now we can see we have everything we need to request the collab. So I'm going to click on request collab. This will open up the collab request page. We can see a couple of things have happened. It's automatically put in the .myshopify URL for me, so it saved me having to do that. It's also added the collab request code. It's selected the options that I have selected inside the extension, leaving everything else unchecked. And also it's added a message at the bottom, which I can control inside of the extension. So when the merchant or client gets the request, this will be what they read, so they know it's coming from you. And from there, I can just click request access, or also in the extension, there is a feature where I can enable this to automatically just click that button for me, reducing another click, which is there as an option if you want to try it out. So that basically is what the core of the extension was when I first started it. As I mentioned, I've added a lot more to it, but even this, if it was the only thing that I released, I think is pretty great for people. So I'm just going to go through the extension because there's a lot in it, and I'm going to cover all the areas in case people might have questions, and I'll have timestamps in the video below so you can skip ahead to them. But yeah, I'm going to start off and jump into it right now. So we're back here because there's a couple of things that I want to also highlight here. I've already mentioned about the .myshopify. I've mentioned that you can put the collab code here. I should also mention that this collab code, if I open and close this again, the collab code is there. That collab code is not stored on a server anywhere. This is all stored in the browser. Everything is stored in the browser. Nothing is copied or anything like that. So I just want to make people aware, because there is going to be something that you will need to put in. And again, that is not stored or saved everywhere. Everything is local. So I have a search dashboard feature here because if there is a case that you might have a collab already with this person, you can quickly click on search dashboard. It will check if you have a collab with them, because then you don't have to request the collab. There's no point in requesting a collab if you already have a collab with them. So there's a search dashboard feature there. So if I click on it, it'll open up the search page. We can see that no stores are found, and there's a little message down here to indicate that as well. So I also have added a shortcut feature. So normally with a extension, you have to go up to your menu bar, select the extension. If you want, you can have a keyboard shortcut to open and close it. That is in the settings. I'll show that pretty much in the next part of the video. All right, so here we are. We're inside of the extension. And this is something that I just added in the most recent update. I added a hub page because I felt like when people go into the extension, it felt a bit like, where should I go? Where should I start? I do have this quick settings here that gives you a good idea of what you should do. Mainly the most important thing is you need to add the partner ID. And again, this is not stored anywhere. It's only stored locally in the browser. You can click over here. You can go over to partner account to find out where that is. Now, at the time, Shopify seems to be removing the legacy partner dashboard for requesting collabs. So this might be eventually phased out, but for now I just have it in there in case people still have the legacy one. So you'll be able to tell by when you go to your collab request page if you have the new one or the old one. Here you can add your partner ID. If you're wondering where to get that, if you just go in your browser and just type in dev, you'll probably have your browser start to fill out your, dev dash. Here you get this number. That's all that's needed. You just put that in there. Essentially what that means is now when we're creating those links to open up specific pages, it opens up and adds that ID because that's how it identifies your dashboard. Again, this is not stored anywhere. It's stored locally. So yeah, just want to let, in case people are worried. Remember I mentioned about the create shortcut. Here we have change shortcut. You can open this up. You can create a shortcut here. And for a button press, I have it just this one. I have it set to global, but you can have it set to browser or global. And when you do that, then the extension will open up whenever you're on a web page. Here you have options here. Use copy code automatically. Save. Use codes per store. If you don't want to save these codes and have them show up, you can just uncheck that. So yeah, there's some options there to control a lot. So if we go back to the hub here, there's a lot of things we can see. We can see our access profiles. Access profiles are basically one of the things you want to set up next. Essentially, this is how you select what options you want. So if you have a developer and you have a designer, they might need different permissions. And you don't want to just have the select all option because some merchants might think like, I don't want you to see my analytics. I don't want you to see what apps I have. I don't want you to gain any advantage. Maybe you're going to come in and look at all my information and steal it and go somewhere else. No, if you want to just request specific things, you can do that. So here we have 2 access profiles on the free plan, and that'll probably be enough for most people. And you can create your profiles here. You can delete the ones that are there by default and start from scratch if you want, or you can just modify them. So here, if I just put in, dev, and then here I can just put in design, and I click save. Now those are just going to be called dev and design. You can put a description here, which is displayed on the extension when you open it up on a web page. And here, the request message, this is the one that appears at the bottom of the collab request in Shopify. So if you want to have specific things written there, you can say, hi, my name is Albert, just so the merchant and client know that it's coming from you. Here we have some options. Again, this one is actually not really needed now because most people will be on the new dev dashboard, but just in case you're still seeing the old one, this is quite helpful. It will just pull you down to the bottom of the page where you can just click submit button. Whereas now in the new dev dashboard, that's at the top. So this one is not really needed if you're on the old dashboard. The collapsed Shopify permissions groups. I like this one because all of them are opened by default, but now that I don't need to fill them in because this fills them in automatically, it just has everything collapsed nicely, and that way you can see the message at the bottom as well. That's an option there. Auto press requests is a premium feature, just like, if you want it to automatically just put through the request once you're on that page, after about 3 seconds, it will automatically just click on request access, or you can control how much time you want it to be before it clicks on that. Here we have our permissions. So here you can see I have these ones selected out of all the options that I could have. So you just set up what you need. You can click on view here. We'll click on view companies. And yeah, so if you see something like this, essentially what this just means is you need to click on this in order to start seeing more. So when I click here, then I'll see the other options. So don't worry if you see these, you might think there's something wrong. No, it just means like requires menu here. So I click on menu and then we can see requires meta object definition. So I had to click on that to start seeing more. And then here I've added it back to the top. So you can just go back up to the top, or you can click save changes here, and that's updated the profile. So now when you're requesting from the dev one, then that will change that. Well, here we can see design is set to default actually. Here we can see default profile. Just click on the star to set whichever one you'd want to be your default profile. Save store codes. This is where you can just see a snapshot of all the store codes that you have put into websites, and if you ever need them, likely you won't, but this is just some nice place just to keep them all in case you want to see them. You can also import or export. There is a import and export feature. Essentially, if you wanted to open up this extension on another browser and you don't want to have to go through and set everything up, you have everything set up, you just come in here, click download full backup, go over to the new browser, click import from a store, you select your file there, and here you'll be able to select which options in that folder you want to import. So maybe you only need one or two things, or maybe you need them all. And don't worry, if it's the case you select, say, access profiles, and if you have those same access profiles on that other client store or on that other browser, it will not overwrite. It will actually just like not add them because it sees you've already got them. So it's not going to like duplicate them 2 times. So not to worry about that. So yeah, here under the impact, just basically will give you an idea. So actually, if I just go over here and let's say I request a collab, that's requested. Now what's done, now what happens now is inside of the settings here, and if I just refresh, we can see it's tracked that. So we can see I've requested one. We can see that saved me about 20 clicks because that's what the average amount of clicks you need to do in order to get a collab request done. But now, like, you know, you might have to click like 2 or 3 times basically. And here we can see time saved. And as you request more collabs, that will just increase the time. And then up here underneath Hub, you can see a nice little overview of like, you know, how much clicks and time saved in case you're curious. Yeah, and so here we can see access profile. Need help? You can just go down here to need help. If you want to give feedback to me about features you'd like to see added, please do let me know, because I definitely had some people suggest some things and I was really impressed by them, so I did want to get them in. I'll add a roadmap of things when I can like ideally get to them. And then we have the changelog. Currently there's 2 published. And then here you can copy support summary. So if you click on this, that will just copy to your clipboard. So if you do find a bug, you can just go to feedback and then put that in a folder or something like that for me. That way I can get to it. Here we can see over the setup, we can see I've got 3 currently done. But for confirm dashboard type, you just open up that. That's just basically, you just confirm that you've done this. And then for here, we can confirm we've done this. Yeah, premium, I'll get to premium now if anyone's curious about what actually premium is, because I think this is going to be very helpful for bigger teams that like need to be aware of what collabs are still pending or what collabs have been approved, and also what collabs are running out of that 90-day window. So if anyone that doesn't know, in Shopify, if you don't log into a store that you have a collab with, in a 90-day period, Shopify will remove you from that. And then if you ever have to go into that store, you have to just request the collab again, which just slows down the process. It'd be much better if you just had a way to be notified, hey, this is running out. You should go and just log into the store. Basically just log in and it resets that 90-day counter by Shopify and just saves you a lot of hassle losing access to it. So yeah, I'm just going to log in and show you what the that looks like so you can have an idea. So once I go over plan access, essentially you'll see here you can put in your email. If you've upgraded to premium, you will put in the email that you purchased premium from on the website, and then you'll be sent a 6-digit code. This is just to make sure that, you know, no one just logs in without, you know, your permissions. So you'll get the code, and once you put in the code there, you'll just be logged in. So I'm just going to do that right now. Okay, so now I'm logged in. It detects I'm a premium, and it tells me that I'm on a monthly plan, and it renews on the 7th of August. And if you need to change that or modify it, you just modify it by going over to the website where it's purchased. Okay, so collab tracker, we'll go over here. Now we can see currently a couple of things are going on. So track requests, Collaborator access. So here, this is the access window that I mentioned. So if you have access to an admin, this window will start counting down 90 days every time you reach that store's admin. So like I said, all you have to do is log into the store. So if the extension detects that you didn't log into the store for, say, the past 5 days, and it just does that by just when you're on the extension, it will just check. It will then notify you, you know, whenever you're getting closer to the 10 or 2 day. You'll be able to see it underneath your hub. Here we can see collab tracker. We have 1 pending currently. and zero track. That essentially, that zero track means like I haven't actually gotten access from anyone. So if I just go back here, we can go down here. We can see this is currently one that has been requested, but we haven't received. So if I'm waiting to get access from a store, but I haven't gotten access, I can reach out to that merchant or client being like, hey, just letting you know, I have not received access to your store in order to do this, thing. So you can also double check by clicking open partner search. Essentially, that will just see if you have access. You'll be able to see by clicking on this if you have a collab or not. And yeah, let's say you have a collab, but it hasn't updated because you haven't logged in yet. You can just go in here and click mark approved. When you click mark approved, that moves down here to track stores and essentially safe 90 days left. So essentially, once this gets down to 10 days left, this will turn to a color. So like, oh, I've only got 10 days left. All you do is basically click open partner search. From there, click login, and then that 90 days gets reset. So that's, great. You don't lose access to that store. Now, if we go back up here to Hub, we can see 1 is tracked, 0 is pending. So as time goes on and these start building up, I think that this will just become very helpful to people. You can also sort by as well if you want, and you can set the specific statuses. And if you don't want to enable collab tracking, you can just turn that off. So you can just, you have a lot of control over things. And yeah, also the good thing as well, the import-export, this import-export feature will also work if you need to export everything to another browser with the extension. You log in, you will see all the information there and all the tracking still currently going on. And that pretty much covers it. Sorry now it's a long video, but there is a lot to cover and I want to make sure that everyone's clear about how everything works. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the extension. I'm excited to continue working on it. Please do consider giving it a review, as that does help. And if you have any feedback and suggestions, just head over to the help and feedback area and send them over. And yeah, look forward to future updates. And yeah, thanks very much, guys. Wish you all the best.